Sup guys, it's Alex here, and welcome to another episode of the Bracketology update. Before we get started, I want to go ahead and remind you of this email I got from the YouTube team regarding the YouTube partnership program. If I don't get 1,000 subscribers by February 20th, then I will no longer be a YouTube partner. I already have the 4,000 hours of watch time in the past 12 months, but I need those 1,000 subscribers. And if I do get those 1,000 subscribers by February 20th, and today is the 8th, then I will do an NCAA tournament first round, like one of the sessions ticket giveaway. I made a video on that about a month ago or something like that. And if I do get that goal by February 20th, then I'll be giving away free tickets. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're new here, right now I'm at 894 subscribers. Whenever I did this Bracketology update on Monday, I was at 866, I believe. So we're making good progress. We need 106 more subscribers in about 12 days. So that's almost 10 subscribers per day. So make sure you tell your friends about this channel. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. And let's go ahead and get right into the Bracketology. So after a crazy week, crazy couple days of NCAA basketball, including #1 Villanova losing at home to St. John's, and St. John's only had a 2.4% chance to win. That was absolutely crazy. I just made a video on that. And then Tennessee had beaten Kentucky in a game that I went to. I made a vlog on that game. Purdue lost at home to Ohio State, who is now a 4 seed right there. Purdue is still at a 1 seed. Virginia had almost lost to Florida State. Florida State put up a good performance. And then Auburn had lost at home last night to Texas A&M in a crazy finish right there. And then tonight we got #9 Duke versus #21 North Carolina. So there's going to be some big bracket implications after that. So here's just a couple of the changes with Joe Lunardi's most recent Bracketology. Cincinnati is now up to a 2 seed. And then Auburn has fallen down to a 3 seed. Cincinnati had taken their spot. Both Florida and Providence are moving up, along with Creighton and New Mexico State. And then Wichita State, Middle Tennessee, and Arizona are moving down, as you can see there. Then just a quick update on the Bubble Watch. The last 4 byes are Arkansas, Providence, Virginia Tech, and Kansas State. Last 4 in are Washington, NC State, Houston, and USC. Then the first 4 out are Syracuse, who beat Louisville at Louisville on Monday. Marquette, who just beat Seton Hall at Seton Hall, I think. And then UCLA, I think it was Seton Hall. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Then UCLA, Nebraska, and then the next 4 out are St. Bonaventure, Temple, Western Kentucky, and SMU, some mid-majors right there. And so with every Bracketology update that I do, you guys know this already, I go ahead and create a bracket on Bracketfy.com for you guys to vote. The last 2 Bracketologies from last Thursday and this past Monday both have over 10,000 total votes, so that's pretty crazy. Hopefully we can keep those numbers up. I created one for today already. I've made that about an hour ago. It already has 305. So let's go ahead and get into it, and I'll go and make a couple quick picks and analysis. You guys can leave your thoughts and reactions in the comment section below. The link for this bracket for you guys to vote will be in the description, so you can go ahead and click that and vote for yourselves. And yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off with this first round matchup right here. #1 Virginia versus #16 Arkansas Pine Bluff and Nichols. Whoever wins that game in the first 4. Obviously, that's going to be Virginia moving on there. Then the 8 versus 9 seed, once it realizes that I clicked. We'll have Missouri and Arizona State, and I think Missouri would end up winning that game. Oklahoma and Louisiana Lafayette got Oklahoma moving on. Same with Ohio State beating Butler. I think that Rhode Island will beat NC State and Washington. I know a lot of people are going to pick NC State beating Washington here, but I got Rhode Island moving on there. And then 3 seed Tennessee will beat the #14 seed Bucknell. TCU is going to get destroyed by Butler there. Nobody's picked TCU to move on. They're just kind of falling off the map as of late. Butler's going to move on there. And then Cincinnati will beat Wright State. So no upsets right there. Xavier will beat Florida Gulf Coast. Then I think that Texas will beat Nevada. Then we got St. Mary's beating the winner of USC and Houston, which I think right now would be USC. North Carolina will beat South Dakota State, though that could be an easy upset pick here. Here's my first upset of the tournament so far. We got #11 New Mexico State beating Creighton. I think New Mexico State had beaten Miami, Florida earlier in the season, and they've been doing really well as of late. Then Auburn will beat Charleston. Then in the 7 versus 10 matchup, we have Michigan beating Virginia Tech, and then Kansas beating UC Santa Barbara. Then on the right side of the bracket, we have Villanova beating the winner of UNC Asheville and North Carolina A&T. And I think that Alabama will move on with Colin Sexton past Florida State. Kentucky will beat Loyola Chicago. I can see that being an upset pick. This is another upset right here. I have Vermont beating West Virginia. I know about a month ago I had West Virginia winning the whole tournament in one of our Bracketology updates. But if Vermont can break West Virginia's pressure, Vermont had almost beaten Kentucky earlier in the season back in November. I think that Vermont could pull off the upset here. Then Gonzaga will beat Kansas State. Clemson will beat Montana. And then Seton Hall will beat Arkansas. I'm not really liking this Arkansas team so far this season. Michigan State will beat Rider. Purdue will beat Wagner. And then Louisville will beat Texas A&M, even though Texas A&M just got a huge victory. Miami, Florida will beat Boise State. Arizona will beat East Tennessee State, though that could be another upset pick right there. Then I got Middle Tennessee moving on past Wichita State here, another 11 versus 6 upset. Texas Tech will beat Belmont. Florida will beat Providence. And then Duke will beat Pennsylvania to close out this first round matchup. Then for a spot in the Sweet 16, we got Virginia moving on past Missouri. Ohio State beating Oklahoma, and nobody's voted for Oklahoma after being one of the most popular teams in my earlier bracketologies. Tennessee will beat Rhode Island. Then Cincinnati will beat Butler. That one's pretty even right there. Then I think I'm going to go with Texas right here. I can't get behind Xavier this season. Just something about them. They almost lost in overtime, I think, at Butler this past week. I just can't get behind Xavier, so I'm going to go with Texas, pulling off the upset over number 1 Xavier. Then North Carolina will beat St. Mary's. Then we got Auburn beating New Mexico State, though somebody has New Mexico State moving on there. Then, wow, look at this. 4 people have picked number 7 Michigan State to upset number 2 Kansas compared to the 1 Kansas winning against the 4 Michigan. I'm going to agree with the 4 people. I think that Michigan's going to move on past Kansas there. That'll be an interesting upset to see. Michigan upset Louisville as a 7 seed last year, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Villanova will beat Alabama. And then Kentucky will beat Vermont, just like they did earlier in the season. Clemson will beat Gonzaga. Michigan State will beat Seton Hall. And then Purdue will beat Louisville, just like they did earlier in the season. Arizona will beat Miami. And then we got Texas Tech beating Middle Tennessee. Then Duke beating Florida like they did earlier in the season. Then for a spot in the Elite Eight, we have Virginia versus Ohio State. And then I think that Virginia will move on there. Though I could see Ohio State with Bates Diop, they could pull off the upset there, but Virginia's just too good of a team right now. And I think that Tennessee will pull off the minor upset against Cincinnati and move on there. And then I'm going to go with Texas moving on again past North Carolina. That would be crazy to see a 9 seed moving on right there. Then I think that Auburn will end up beating Michigan and ruin Michigan's Cinderella run. Villanova will beat Kentucky, sadly. I'm a Kentucky fan. And Michigan State will beat Clemson. And then Purdue will beat Arizona, even though Arizona has been projected to beat Purdue by most of the people so far. Then I think that Duke will beat Texas Tech, even though I hate Duke. Then for a spot in the Final Four, we have number 1 Virginia versus number 3 Tennessee. We got Virginia moving on there. Then we got Auburn beating Texas to move on into the Final Four. Villanova and Michigan State. I got Michigan State moving on. And then Purdue and Duke. I actually have Purdue moving on past Duke. Then in the Final Four, to move on to the national championship game in the Final Four, Virginia will beat Auburn. And then Michigan State will beat Purdue. Then in the national championship game, we have number 1 Virginia versus number 2 Michigan State. These 2 teams somehow always find a way to play each other in the NCAA tournament. I got Virginia moving on and winning the national championship. So there you have it. I have Virginia moving on and winning the national championship, as I just said. Make sure you guys vote by clicking the link in the description. Make sure you comment what you think about the bracket and just college basketball in general right now. There's so much parity. This has been a great season with chaos galore. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're new to get all the college basketball and bracketology updates as they come. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and I will see you guys later.